The door didn't slam. It clicked soft final. Like a decision already made. "Don't come back," my father said from the other side. "I won't raise a criminal." I stood on the porch barefoot. It was November in Chicago. The kind of cold that doesn't bite at first, it seeps. I was 16. No coat. No phone, no wallet. Just pajama pants, a thin hoodie, and the sound of wind tearing down our street like it had somewhere urgent to be. Behind the door, I could hear my stepmother whispering. And my sister crying. Crying. That part almost made me laugh. Almost. Because 10 minutes earlier, she had stood in the kitchen holding my father's missing watch in one hand and a stack of $100 bills in the other. "My God, Dad," she'd whispered. I didn't want to believe it either. She looked devastated. She deserved an award. I didn't even get to defend myself properly. He didn't want explanations. He wanted someone to blame. And I was convenient. The golden child had spoken. And I had been sentenced. The wind cut through my hoodie within seconds. I knocked once. Not to beg. Just to see if there was still a father in there. There wasn't. The porch light shut off. That was the last thing I saw of that house. I didn't know where I was going. My brain wasn't working right. Cold does that. I just walked. Down Maple Street. Past the closed gas station. Past Mrs. Donnelly's house with the plastic reindeer still in the yard. Every house had light. Every house had warmth. None of them were mine. After about 20 minutes, my hands started shaking. After 40, I couldn't feel my feet. I should have called someone. Except I didn't have anyone. My mom died when I was 10. My aunt moved to Arizona. And my best friend? She believed the rumor. Because my sister made sure she would. Here's the part you don't know yet. This wasn't random. This wasn't an emotional outburst. It was planned. And I didn't realize it until much later. I made it to the main road. Traffic blurred by. Headlights streaked across wet asphalt. My vision started tunneling. That's when a car slowed down. I remember thinking, great. This is how it ends. Cold, broke, and stupid enough to trust a stranger. The passenger window rolled down. An older woman leaned across the seat. Silver hair. Sharp eyes. "You okay, sweetheart?" No one had called me that in years. I tried to answer. My teeth were chattering too hard. She didn't ask again. She opened the door. "Get in." Her name was Margaret Vale. Retired school principal. Widowed. No children. She had been driving home from a charity board meeting when she saw me walking like a ghost. She didn't take me to the police first. She took me home. Wrapped me in blankets. Made tea so strong it could have revived the dead. And then she asked a question nobody else had. What happened? So I told her. About the missing watch. About the cash. About how my sister, Leah, found everything in my room. About how my father didn't check security cameras. Didn't check bank statements. Didn't check anything. Because he trusted her. She'd been the perfect daughter since birth. Honor roll. Cheer captain. Student body president. I was the quiet one. The inconvenient one. The reminder of a wife he couldn't save. Margaret didn't interrupt. She just listened. Then she said something that changed everything. "I don't think this is about a watch." 3 days later, the police showed up at Margaret's house. Not to arrest me. To question my father. Because Margaret hadn't just made tea. She'd made calls. You see, Margaret Vale wasn't just a retired principal. She'd spent 30 years dealing with manipulative teenagers and exhausted parents. She knew patterns. And she recognized this one. She contacted a former colleague, now a detective. And he started pulling threads. The watch? Pawned. 2 days before I was kicked out. The pawn shop had footage. The person pawning it? Leah. The money? Withdrawn in 3 large chunks from my father's account. All during school hours. When I had attendance records proving I was in class. And the real bomb? Leah had been transferring small amounts from Dad's business account for almost a year. Nearly $22,000. She was drowning in credit card debt. Designer clothes. Luxury trips. An influencer lifestyle she couldn't afford. She needed a scapegoat before the audit hit. So she built one. Me. The night police knocked on my father's door, he reportedly opened it smiling. He thought they were there to collect me. Instead, they arrested Leah. Fraud. Theft. Filing a false report. My father's face, Margaret later told me, lost color like someone drained him through a straw. But here's the twist. He didn't call me. Not that night. Not the next day. He was too busy dealing with lawyers. An embarrassment. And the horror of realizing he chose the wrong daughter. Margaret filed emergency guardianship. I moved into her spare bedroom. She told me something simple my first night there. Blood makes you related. Choices make you family. I slept 12 hours straight. For the first time in years. But the story wasn't over. Because betrayal doesn't end with exposure. It evolves. And Leah wasn't done yet. Leah made bail. Of course she did. My father paid it. Of course he did. And for a moment, I thought he still didn't get it. Still protecting her. Still choosing her. Until I learned something else. He had hired a forensic accountant. Not to defend her. To verify everything. When the full financial report came back, the number wasn't $22,000. It was $41,300. She had been siphoning money through shell apps, fake Venmo accounts, prepaid cards. She was smarter than anyone gave her credit for. Just not smart enough. Court was set for March. I didn't attend the first hearing. Margaret did. When she came home that afternoon, she placed the file on the table. Your sister underestimated how documented modern life is. Every ATM. Every store. Every login IP address. It was all there. And when confronted with it, Leah blamed me. Said I hacked her. Said I was jealous. Said I orchestrated everything because I hated her. The prosecutor reportedly asked her. While sitting in chemistry class? Silence. Then came the piece that sealed it. Text messages. Between Leah and a guy named Evan. Once she's gone, it's easy. Dad will never question me. I'll fix everything after I clear my debt. Clear my debt. That was me. I was the debt. My father tried to see me before sentencing. I refused. Not out of anger. Out of clarity. I had survived without him. I wasn't going to crumble for him. Leah took a plea deal. 3 years probation. Restitution. Permanent fraud record. No jail because it was her first offense. But her name? Tainted. Scholarships revoked. Internships withdrawn. Her carefully curated life collapsed overnight. And the community found out. Chicago suburbs talk. Church friends stopped inviting my father. Neighbors stopped waving. The golden child narrative died loudly. But something else happened. Something nobody expected. My father sold the house. And transferred the remaining business shares into a trust. In my name. He didn't ask permission. He just did it. Margaret told me quietly. He's trying to atone. I didn't feel satisfaction. I felt distance. I graduated high school. Top 10 in my class. Margaret sat front row. My father stood in the back. We didn't speak. I left for New York at 18. Full scholarship. Marketing major. I built something from nothing. Internships. Late nights. No safety net. And I liked it that way. Then, 8 years later. The letter came. Return address, Rehabilitation Center. Stroke. partial paralysis. He was 71. And alone. Leah hadn't visited. I stared at that envelope for a long time. Then I booked a flight. Not for him. For closure. Hospitals smell like endings. He looked smaller. Frailer. Not powerful. Not intimidating. Just human. When he saw me, he cried. Actually cried. I chose wrong, he whispered. That sentence carried 13 years. I didn't rush to comfort him. I didn't rush to punish him either. I sat down. And I spoke calmly. You didn't choose wrong. You chose easy. He closed his eyes. Because that was the truth. Leah made him feel strong. Important. Needed. I reminded him of grief. Of my mother. Of responsibility. He picked comfort over courage. And that cost him a daughter. I thought you were stronger, he said weakly. I almost smiled. I was. He nodded slowly. I see that now. We talked for 30 minutes. About neutral things. About my career in New York. About the apartment overlooking the river. About the man I was dating, a paramedic who'd once told me, nobody who survives a storm fears thunder. When I stood to leave, he reached for my hand. I let him hold it. For 5 seconds. No more. I forgive you, I said. His entire body relaxed. But then I added. Forgiveness isn't access. And that was the final boundary. He passed 3 months later. Leah did attend the funeral. We didn't speak. She looked older. Life had humbled her. Death still followed her. So did reputation. I walked out of that cemetery lighter than I'd felt in years. Not because he died. Because I was done carrying it. Today, I live in Manhattan. Corner office. 6-figure salary. Engaged to a man who would walk through any storm beside me. Margaret still calls every Sunday. She's 82 now. Still sharp. Still fierce. Still the woman who rolled down her window and changed everything. The house on Maple Street? Someone else lives there. The porch light still flicks off at night. But it doesn't mean anything anymore. Because the girl who stood there barefoot in November? She doesn't exist. She turned into something stronger. And the sister who tried to erase me? She only succeeded in rewriting me. Some storms are meant to end you. Others are meant to introduce you to yourself. That night, I lost a home. But I found proof that the wrong door closing can save your life.